Wow, look at the length of that redfish. Woo! What a great fish.
There he is, there he is. There you go, you got it.
This is a big bite here, buddy.
There he is. All right.
Take a walk on the wild side. Hang and glide on the styled side. Walking the dog will never be the same once the new X-Rap Sub-Walk 9 hits town.
No doubt that walking the dog style of lure just underneath the surface really makes a difference. Wow, what a great redfish. And you know, the Sub-Walk is a walk the dog type of lure, a lot like the skitter walk. The thing that's different is that it is walking the dog subsurface, just below the surface. Let me show you how it works. Now, the one thing that I really think is attractive about a walk the dog style of lure is the action itself. The thing that makes this bait so great is we have the same action that we've had for years using the skitter walk, but it happens underneath the surface, maybe 3 to 6 inches below the surface. The skitter walk has been traditionally a great lure on the surface solely because of the way it walks the dog.
I make my living on the bass tour, traveling all over the country looking for fish. But when I'm home, I spend a lot of my time on the coast fishing inshore. And I gotta tell you, this bait, it's a multi-purpose bait. It knows no boundaries. I can use it inshore for bass, I can use it on the coast for game fish. What's really sweet about this bait is its profile and its reflective quality. It represents so many different types of forage, whether it's menhaden, mullet, it could be shiners, shad. It doesn't really matter. It's got the right reflective quality. We have all kinds of colors to combine with the profile of this bait. It's limitless where you can use this lure and make it effective.
The X-Rap Sub-Walk 9 takes walking the dog to where it's never gone before. Down to the fish, not just up on top. It's uniquely designed and weighted for a slow gliding sink. Then, when paused, head down to see where it's going, impart a series of twitches with your rod tip, and it shifts into subsurface hunting mode, quartering back and forth with a moderate searching action to scout out the surroundings and flush out bites. Its unique lateral tail fins provide stability and gliding action to keep your Sub-Walk 9 on point and on target when using either quick or slow retrieves.
Even though this bait's primary action is a side-to-side walk, it's actually very versatile. If I'm fishing for tarpon or snook that are laid up on the flats, they're not real aggressive, they're in a little bit deeper water, I'll use a slower retrieve, basically a slow sachet from side to side. And I can let that lure fall down into the water column a little bit if they don't want to chase. On the other hand, if I'm after schooling bass or striper or bluefish, something that's really aggressively feeding on top, I'll speed the retrieve. I'll twitch the bait a lot quicker with short, choppy motions of the rod tip and actually carve that thing right under the surface of the water. It doesn't really matter what kind of fish you're after. This bait can achieve the action you need. It's just a matter of slowing it down or speeding it up.
The 3 1/2 inch, 5/8 ounce Sub-Walk 9 casts like a bullet despite the fiercest crosswind. Then it creates a subsurface, walk the dog searching presentation that slides and glides as deep as 4 or 5 feet, depending on your retrieve style and cadence. It features a VMC black nickel treble belly hook with a sure set feathered tail hook for added action, attraction, and excitement. Flip it, flap it, flaunt it if you've got it. When the tail is flapping, something's happening.
Here in the Florida Everglades, as well as anywhere in Florida, color is very important. A lot of it depends on the amount of fresh water that's been introduced into the salt. A good example, in the summertime when we have a lot of rain, the water gets a very dark root beer color. It's a tannic reaction from the mangroves. So when that's the case, you have to understand that the baits that are in the environment are going to change to camouflage themselves and to match into that water. A good example would be this blackback with gold sides works very, very well in that tannic colored water. Versus most of the times of the year when we have clear water, the wintertime, the fall, And when it starts to dry out, and even in the spring, the natural colors that Rapala makes is really what is the most natural presentation. So the point is that you want to match the hatch, and the guys at Rapala really get it.
The Subwalk 9 does it all in 12 scintillating colors to match popular forage and attractor patterns for everything from bass and pike in freshwater to redfish, snook, and other ferocious salty dog inshore species. Durable plastic construction takes a licking and the tail keeps on flicking until it flushes out the fish you're after.
You know, I've been a professional fisherman for over 20 years, and you know, I've seen a lot of lures come and go, and I really don't get too excited about lures anymore. But you know, every once in a while a lure comes along and you just can't help to get excited about it because it does something unique. Well, we have such a lure. This is the new Rapala X-Rap Subwalk. Not only does this lure walk the dog, but it walks the dog under the water. You know those suspended fish that we get so frustrated trying to catch in the summertime? We go out there with our topwater skidder walks and we draw fish up, and then you know, 10 minutes later we can't get them to come to the surface, but we know they're down there. This is the answer. This lure will go down to that zone where the fish don't have to come all the way to the surface. That's always been our problem with suspended bass. We can't get them to the surface. With a new Subwalk, goes down to the zone the fish are in, walks the dog. You're not going to believe the action of this lure. You know, the castability of this lure really is unbelievable. Even in this 20-mile-an-hour wind, I can cast this lure right into the wind. I want to talk about the retrieve just a little bit. You know, this really is a unique lure. Now, you know, you're walking a bait under the water, but the neat thing about this lure is you can do a fast cadence like I'm doing here, or you can pop it and make it glide to the side. When it gets to the point it's going to stop gliding, you want to hit it again and turn it and make it glide the other way. Turn it, make it glide the other way. You can make a bass bite this lure.
So, what do you get when you cross the side-to-side hunting action of a skidder walk with the wild and crazy temperament of an X-Rap and dip the results beneath the surface? The X-Rap Subwalk 9, a distinctive new breed of junkyard dog whose bite is even bolder than its bark.
You can make a bass bite this lure.
Whether fast or slow, this lure will give you the versatility you need for any species you're after.
I fish over 300 days a year on the water, and I fish for big, mean, tough fish. So simply, the lures that I fish with have to be tougher.
Go get 'em, boy! The X-Rap Subwalk 9, the new big dog for skinny water conditions. Because this dog doesn't just hunt up top, it fishes down under.